In silence lies all the answers. In the silent mind, all answers lie. So let's just begin that way. This is just my quirky way of starting. So close your eyes if you feel comfortable enough. Just let all the thoughts that you have on your mind float on out. And wait for the chimes. Thank you all. Well, as I said, it's a really wonderful thing to be here with everybody. Again, this is my last extended professional training. Why is it my last extended professional training? Because it's too much work for me. Not here during the weekends, but in between. The way I've set this up is that I really felt it was necessary to give people as much individual attention as possible. And that's what happens in between the sessions every month. And that's why it's a tremendous amount of work for me. Time-wise, I love talking to everybody. So it's just a time thing. The way it works is I give assignments every month. The assignments are very relevant to what you're here for. You do them sometimes individually, sometimes working with other people in the group. And then you get them to me somehow. You send them to me over email usually. And then we have a Skype session, sometimes individually and sometimes in pairs, and sometimes in more than pairs. and you know, there may be a time when we set up a group thing that we do it with everybody, but I'm not sure about that. So it's been an evolving and unfolding process. And I'm just about getting the hang of this, just as it's about to end. I don't know that anybody else in the Three Principles community does this exactly the way that I do it. It's been a wonderful experience for people, and I hope I'm not jinxing it, knock on wood. And so I've noticed that the individual attention is something that really, really helps. Really helps. So, and I also want to point out that, like, you're not here to learn from me. You're here to learn from everybody. And mostly you're here to learn from yourselves, because there isn't any learning from me or from anybody else that really counts. It's all one's own insights that count. It's the only thing that counts, is whether you have insights or not that help you in your life and in your work. And speaking of which, there are 3 purposes for this training. The first is to deepen your own personal grounding and comfort yourself with living the 3 principles, living through the eyes of the 3 principles, so that you yourself feel like you're on solid ground. That's what grounding means. It means you are standing on solid ground with the 3 principles. So when you go out into the world, the more solid your grounding is, the more you start seeing everything through the eyes of the 3 principles. Because they are everywhere. We can't get away from them even if we wanted to. So we go about our business seeing through 3 principles' eyes. And the more we see that, the more solid we are. You know, everybody, me included, gets caught in reality. What we are calling reality, what we think is reality. Everybody has blind spots. There isn't anybody who understands the 3 principles that doesn't have their own blind spots. Me included. And if we're on solid ground with the 3 principles, we will recognize, usually after the fact, that we've gotten caught in a particular blind spot or a particular habit of thinking that's hidden behind the scenes. But grounding doesn't mean that you're always there. It means that you recognize when you get off. And you realize, you know, eventually you catch on again to the fact that, oh, this is the 3 principles in operation here. This is not, I'm not, like my feelings, my emotions are not coming from reality out there. They're not coming from the outside world. They're coming from me. I forgot. I got caught up and I forgot. As soon as we realize that, we're back on solid ground. So there's no being perfect in this. Not even Sid Banks was perfect in this, because he's a human being, and we certainly are. All right? So we can just relax. Just relax. Just keep our eyes open. So that's the first purpose of this training. And the purpose of that is so that when we open our mouths around other people about the 3 principles, what comes out is going to be really solid. So that's the second purpose, is in whatever way that we work with other people, our work improves. Just because of what we know about the 3 principles, our work improves with others. All right? And the third purpose is that when we attempt to communicate the 3 principles to others, when we teach others the 3 principles, or when we work with people one-on-one or in groups or anything, how are we in the best position to have impact with the people that we're talking to? whether that be in a formal teaching thing or a formal one-on-one coaching thing or an informal group. Some people run meetup groups in this, you know, so anything. It's like, how do we communicate the three principles best? So those are the three purposes of this. Any questions or comments? All right. So, before I say anything else, we need to introduce ourselves to each other. Now, one of the things, if you notice, there are no name tags. That's on purpose, because name tags get us off the hook. We don't listen as much to the other people, to who they are, who people really are, when we have a name tag to rely on. So, we really, when people are introducing themselves, we really want deep listening to go on. If you're thinking about what you're going to say when it comes around to you in the circle, you're not going to be deep listening to people. Forget about that. When you open your mouth, something will come out, guaranteed. You don't have to think about it beforehand. So here's what I want you to say, and we're, excuse me, we're gonna, if we take about 3 minutes apiece, it's going to take us an hour and a half or more. But that's cool. It's really important for people's comfort level with each other to really get to know each other here. That's part of what happens here. Is there's a, I don't know what you'd call it, I guess a feeling that gets created that is, that relaxes the mind. And when people are comfortable with each other and the mind relaxes, that's when people have the greatest chance of having new insights, which, as I said before, is the only thing that counts. So, what I'd like you to say as we go around the room is who you are. You can just use your first name if you want. Where you're from. And while I'm thinking about where we're from, it's very interesting in this room because people are from all kinds of different countries here. People have different accents, all right? And sometimes we have to listen very carefully to these different accents to understand people. So I actually think that's really helpful to listen so much that we can understand through the accent. All right, so you're going to say where you're from, and then how long have you been exposed to the three principles, and how did you get exposed to it? Okay. Let me refer to this to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah. What has it done for you? What has knowing the three principles done for you? For your life so far? Okay. And then just, what intentions are, like what you want to do with it. You can say, I just want to keep it to myself and, you know, live my life in a better way or whatever, or, you know, you want to use it with other people somehow. So we want to hear that from you too. And just what made you want to come to this in general, you know? So somewhere within that realm, that's what we want you to talk about. Okay? Let's start over here. Oh, and...
Do you want to start with the videos? There's two ladies on the videos.
Afterwards. I want to do that afterwards. Very good.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia. I'm from Buckinghamshire in England. I discovered the principles from my lovely friend Vivian about January this year.
Wow.
And but I've been using them in my own personal self-development for about 5 years and just didn't realise that they were the 3 principles. So I've had my biggest insights from having a look at my own thinking and not buying into it, you know. And I'm a health practitioner, and I let people, or help people to let go of what they're holding physically, emotionally, and mentally. And what I wanted to do is try and teach them about looking at their own thinking, really. And so when Vivian told me about the principles, I thought, this is the missing piece. And not only is it the missing piece, it's the bit that underpins really everything I want to do with people. So I am here to try and find a way to articulate it properly and use it with others so that I can work with them to share what I know and what it's done for me and hopefully do the same for them.
Well, great. Thank you, Julie.
Hi, I'm Christina from Hamburg, Germany, and I got across the principles in December last year because a friend of mine has a dog and another life coach and another has a dog, and they talked, and he said, get in touch with her, and I did. So I met her in December and she talked to me about the principles the first time. Yeah, so that's the start of my journey. And they did a really great deal already for me, because health-wise, it's less as you think, as better you can feel, and you are not as sick as you were before. And what I want to do with the training, or the knowledge I get from the training, is to be able to talk to people about the principles better, and because in Germany it's not known yet that much. So my goal is, maybe together with Katja, to get the principles more known in Germany. So.
Christina, did you say what it did for you?
Yes, it did for me the health thing, that I actually noticed that if I don't think that much anymore, so I can do more stuff than I did before.
Oh, okay. And Julia, did you say what it did for you?
I did, yeah, and in that it's been the biggest transformational piece of my own sort of journey of self-discovery over the last 5 years, is being able to see my thinking and not buy into it, you know, being able to have a bit of distance from it.
Yeah, and what has that done for you?
God, it's everything. It's made me happier, you know, it's made me see things more clearly. I'm certainly much, much calmer and happier than I've ever been.
That's great. So that's what I'm trying to get at here, okay? So, thank you.
I could say that the same happened to me. So it's not only the health stuff, it's also the well-being at all.
Okay, wonderful.
Hi everyone, my name's John. I'm from Gatwick, Crawley, near Gatwick Airport. I've been introduced to the principles for about 9 months. I found first the Enlightened Gardener book on Amazon, which I thought was a bit of a curious title, so kind of bought that and had a look, and got a few other books at the same time. One of them was Jack's book, one of them Michael Neal's book. My understanding's just deepened from there, really. I always say that the main thing I've noticed that has changed in my life is that I still have problems occasionally, but I tend to think about them less when other people remind me. A good example is last night when we were talking, and he said, "Does anyone have any problems?" And my girlfriend's with me, she was squeezing my hand. And I was going to put my hand up, but I couldn't think of anything to say. She said, "You've got a problem." I can't remember what it was. So I felt a bit stupid. I guess that's the main thing I've experienced by being exposed to the principles. I'm here because I've recently left my job. I was a project manager in an oil and gas company, and I didn't agree with the industry. I didn't agree with the work that I was doing. I didn't think I was going in the right direction with my life. And I've been around people that have mental health issues or mental disorders, and I don't feel that they get the level of care that they deserve. I really believe that the principles can help people just understand how their thinking creates the experience that they're having. But the one thing that I struggle with is relating that to them, or relating my understanding of the principles to them in a way that they can understand. So that's my reason for being here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started a practice to coach people and consult people with a 3 principles understanding. And as soon as I get back home, I'll kind of move forward with that, really. So, yes.
How long has it been since you picked up those books originally?
About 9 months. Oh, no, sorry, not 9 months. It was about November last year, October, November last year. So it's been a year or so. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
a year or so. I would say my life has changed. Sometimes I forget how much it's changed. But coming back to what I was saying a second ago about my problems, is every now and again I kind of remind myself that I've got a problem for some strange reason. And I'm sure we all get stuck in this. And I sit there sometimes and I've got nothing to worry about. I should be worrying about something. It's a bit of a strange feeling, isn't it? But it's nice to forget. It's nice to know that whatever it is I'm experiencing is only coming from me and not from anything else.
Yeah.
When I know that, obviously I don't know that all the time. So
Right.
I'm hoping that this experience will help.
Thank you, John. All right.
Morning. My name's Martin. I'm from England also, Devon, I live. And I told a bit of a story yesterday about how my day went yesterday, but I'm going to scrub around that today. The 3 principles. I trained with Michael Neal and Jamie Smart, and they were on a process in transition from NLP to the 3 principles of thinking. And I just seemed to come across them at the right time. It was about 5 years ago, 5+ years ago. And it's been transformational for me for many reasons. More so because of how it's allowed me to do my practice. I run a coaching company, and it's varied. There's lots of one-on-one, there's lots of corporate, and the principles and knowing about them as I do to the level I know at this moment in time has helped in the delivery of what I do in terms of getting people into a better place than they were before. How has it affected me? Well, the best thing I suppose would be to ask my sons, because I've been a go-getter. I've always been after the best thing for them, for myself, and although I still want the best thing for them, it comes a lot easier now because I'm not chasing, and I'm feeling the position I'm in as being a good thing as opposed to something which is driving me. I just allow it to come. Why am I here? To deepen my understanding, really, because I don't think you ever have the deepest of understandings. I think it's an ongoing process. Even though it's within us, it still needs to be uncovered. And it's the last event that Jack's running. And I've read Jack's books and seen him speak. I've been to numerous conferences in England. To be involved in something like this is I think, is not only worthwhile for the whole understanding and deepening of the understanding, but just be involved with Jack on this journey he's on for the last time, I guess. Do I miss anything?
No, I think you did just fine. Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
Hello everybody, I'm Johan Evertsson from Sweden.
Would you say your first name again, please?
It's like John, but A after the H.
Johan.
Johan.
Johan, it's pronounced
it's
Johan.
not Johan. It doesn't really matter.
All right.
Johan. Oh, sorry. I feel honored to be a part of this group, this class, I must say. My experience in this field is somewhat limited so far. This is the first live session together with someone like you. And I got interested when in you, Jack, when I followed your blog from the European tour you did, and I wrote a question. I mailed you a question that you answered. I thought that was a good sign. So you must have lots of people contacting you all the time. So that's when I thought I had to go here. It started this fall when my wife and I decided, after lots of discussions, we started going to a coach in Gothenburg, where we live. And he introduced three principles, but mainly his own coaching techniques, and that was mainly hypnotherapy, hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more going back to where did this problem start? So it's more of a psychodynamic side to it. But still, in me, it started something, and especially the dichotomy of victim and creator, or victim and owner. And that made a huge difference in our relationship, my wife and me. It made us believe in a future for our marriage and personally too. And in the spring, this spring, 2015, I had read a lot of books, Michael Neal and your books, and what's that called? Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by, what's his name?
Richard Carlson?
No?
Richard Bandon?
No, no Richard. What I wanted to say was that I slowly came into a new feeling about my own life, and that has been a major thing for me to feel, at least most of the time, calm and happy, and understanding that everything is possible. I always tend to do this when I think about where everything is opened up. Can I go on for a little while? In my, I'm a musician and I work also at the school for grown-ups, folkhögskola, where I have been coaching or mentoring people for a long time. There's lots of people with different diagnoses. Always ADHD and different things. And the view of those diagnoses has always troubled me, and now it troubles me even more. What the normal way of looking at those things are. And now it makes it this very little insight I have so far has made it a lot easier for me personally to communicate with these students of mine. It makes it even hard though. It makes it harder to work where I work, the daytime job. Being a musician, it only helps, but being in an environment that's sort of constructed around psychodynamic theories, that's sort of doesn't work in my mind, so I had to go my own way. One more thing about the feeling then, that I have most of it, I'm not the whole time, but a lot of time. Earlier, the good feeling came from when I worked with people, mentoring or coaching, but that was kind of a reaction to their praising of me, their appreciation of me. Now I feel I don't need that very much anymore. I'm on my way into something else. Anything else I want me to
No,
address?
that's great.
All
right.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Annelisa. I'm from Norway, and I feel I get a little emotional because for me the principles were like coming home. It's been, I think, since '95 I've been on this spiritual search in a way, and since 2003 I've been coaching with NLP, training people in NLP coaching, and the whole thing, there has been this missing link, and I took all kinds of more alternative courses, and there was this gap between what I was teaching and what I was doing, because if any of my students had come into my room on a one-to-one session, they wouldn't recognize it because I never used the techniques, I never used what I taught people to use. And then I think it was long before I heard about the principles, in 2007, I really scared myself because I was starting a 1.5-year training with NLP-based coaching, and I had my students sitting there, and I was sitting with 3 manuals, and I hear myself saying, on the first day, the first hour, and they had paid a lot of money for this, and I said, I think we need these manuals. There's going to be a day that we don't use any tools, any techniques. I don't know if it's a month or if it's years. And then, sorry.
People going for the tissues now.
Then in 2010, finally I got pregnant, and I had my daughter, the first and only, and I was really, through the whole pregnancy and everything, I was trying to, in a way, control it, or because she was in the wrong position, so she was going to come with her butt first, and I did healing, I did acupuncture, all kinds of things, just accepting the fact that I was the way it should be. I tried so much to interfere, and it's like beating myself up because you know all these mental techniques and tools, and you should be able to make her turn around, and all this crazy thing I was doing. And then after she was born, I was really tired, and I had my thyroid removed in '88 because of cancer. And what I've learned now is that I probably should have had the medication a little higher while I was pregnant for my body to handle the pregnancy. So it's been many years now with that I've been really, really low of energy, and I couldn't work, and my techniques and tools definitely didn't work, and it was so frustrating because I had helped so many people before and I couldn't help myself. And then suddenly, 2 years ago, I think it was, I accidentally bumped into something on the internet, and I ended up in London just like this on at a weekend seminar, and that was the start of it. And it was just amazing, the silent mind, the inner peace, everything just changing. Still physically feeling ill, and it's taken a while, but it just started this transformation, and I knew it really existed, what I was talking about. It was really there. So now I'm just so grateful, because I feel it was really the key to get my life back. And I've changed my business, so I'm doing 3P based instead of the NLP part, and I think now I'm just realizing what a huge change there has been. I'm sorry. It's had a great impact on all areas, actually. And I feel every day is just getting better and better. And with this training, I think getting deeper is what I want. And also, I feel the thought dimension I see pretty well, but I would like to explore mind more. And
Thank you, Annalisa.
Hi everybody, my name's Amanda, and I live in Spain, but I was born in the UK. My journey here to this seat has been through the same channels. It's been NLP, hypnotherapy, EFT, always looking for that next technique, always hanging out in the content of people's thinking. And about a year and a half ago, I went on a weekend course with Jamie Smart. I thought it was actually an NLP weekend. I'd never heard of the 3 Ps. But something shifted that weekend. I just learned how to listen in a different way. There was no outcome. And I was just interested to learn more, and then I went and did his 1-year course. I have a practice in Albir where I've been like trying to juggle my techniques with my new understanding. And what it's done for me, two things recently I've noticed. One is that I'm just really not taking my thinking seriously. It's just so what? And I just think, God, the hours I spent in analysis on like, why am I thinking that? Thinking I needed to understand why I think what I do to then get over it. And it's just like, so what? And it's just saving me so much time, and it puts me into action. I'm taking so much action now in my life because of that. I'm also feeling I'm more original, I'm more authentic when I see people. And that's saving me hours, because before I used to like copy people. What do they say? What do other people do? Even creating my website, I was copying and pasting other people's thinking and thoughts, and like I wasn't there. So it's really nice to be original and be authentic and turn up in life like that. And I'm interested to see how now I turn up in that space, the relationship with clients, and I'm not sure, I'm still bringing techniques sometimes. I'm quite keen to, well, I don't know what I think about that. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but I'm really interested here to learn more about how to share that. Because I know that it's not so whatting on people's problems. So I'm just keen to learn more, to sit in space, to deep listen, to speak in metaphor more. But I'm really grateful for the learnings. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire. I came to this understanding probably coming up to just about a year ago. I have a couple of friends who have done Super Coach Academy with Michael Neal and been talking about it for a couple of years. And I had a vague curiosity, kind of looked at the website years back, and thought, okay, mind, consciousness, thought, that doesn't mean anything to me. Didn't really take it any further. But then watching over time the transformation of those friends, I kind of thought, well, actually there must be something in this that I'm just not seeing. And I guess in my own life, towards the end of last year, I'd kind of come to a place where I was kind of thinking, well, actually, all of the techniques, the understanding, everything I've been doing, everything I've been searching for at this particular point in time just isn't working. And at that point I felt, actually, I don't know where to go. Actually don't know where to go, and I can't carry on doing what I'm doing. Michael's book kind of came back to me at that point. And I decided to actually get the book and sit and read it. And I read the book in a couple of hours and noticed that actually I felt better. Didn't feel the despair that I was feeling before I actually picked the book up and thought, actually, if I can go from where I was at that point in time to where I am in the cover of that book and being where I am now, it's like from 0 to 100, there's something in this and I want to know more about it. And I guess that's started my 3P journey. I'm a psychologist, I manage a team of psychologists, and I find everything I learned as a psychologist, my whole practice as a psychologist, actually doesn't make sense in terms of this 3P understanding. So I guess I find myself in this position of, well, if that's not making sense and that's been my life for 25 years, now what? And yet I know that for me, 3P is just the missing link. It's been the missing link for everything that I've studied and everything I thought I knew up until this point. And I guess that's why I'm here, because I've come to a point where actually don't want to carry on doing things in the way that I've been doing. I want to be teaching people about 3Ps and helping people to have an understanding of that. So I'm here really to get a deeper understanding for myself, but also to feel more confident about talking about this stuff with professionals who every conversation you seem to have say, but where's the evidence base? So yeah, that's kind of why I'm here.
Great, Claire. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shnaz. I'm from UK, Birmingham. I came across 3Ps around about May this year when Claire, the friend, Roger arranged some training and Jack was there. It was training for social work. I work in mental health services in Birmingham. I'm a senior practitioner. I supervise approved mental health professionals, people who need to be detained under the Mental Health Act. So when Jack delivered that training, there was a lot of cynicism amongst some social workers. However, what Jack was saying profoundly hit me, and after then I've just been reading and reading, or we had another evening session with Jack, and it was when Jack, and I was thinking, Jack was saying it was all an illusion. And I asked Jack, and I go, Jack, what about peace, love? Because I was thinking about my husband, my children, and he goes, it's all an illusion. And at that time, it shocked me, something happened. From then on, I just read, YouTubed, talked to Claire, she gave me some mentoring. The mind element really threw me, because I believe in God. I believe in one God. So the thought and the consciousness, and I try and be God consciousness as much as I can. So since the 3Ps, my world has changed. Everything has changed. The way I practice, the way I do my religion, the prayers, I try and be more conscious. Obviously the thoughts still pop in and pop out, but alhamdulillah, I'm much better. My relationships with my husband, my children, my work colleagues, everybody, it seems different. People who used to irritate me don't irritate me as much. Well, they don't irritate me anymore. Things are just different. And sometimes people go, what are you on? Give me that drug. It isn't. I don't know what it is. But I think my thinking has changed. The way I think, the way I do things has changed. But I think the reason why I'm here is because I want to be able to explain the 3Ps more coherently. I'm not using the 3P language as much because I'm using my own language, I suppose. Because obviously when I know it's just a thought, it's just an illusion, it's just a lie. Those are some of the things I say. I think, or something happens, it may be a tragedy or traumatic event, and I think, oh, it's okay, it'll go. And that helps me. But obviously, this is my first formal training, and I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully I'll be able to implement some of I think it's being able to communicate it more effectively that's why I'm here. And I'm happy, I like my work, I get a lot of satisfaction, but obviously when I'm supervising social workers, I'll be able to communicate more effectively the 3 Ps. I'll have to do it in a bit of a disguise, because a lot of people don't want to go down that route, which is fine, that's okay. And that's why I'm here, so yeah.
Thank you, Sinead.
Hello, I'm Eileen from County Down, Northern Ireland. I first came across 3 principles about just over 2 years ago, and it was quite a dramatic introduction, really. Somebody recommended a book, Michael Neal book, but it was a different Michael Neal book. But I seen Inside Out Revolution and I googled it, and honestly, just from reading about it on the internet, I just got like an overwhelming feeling about it. I went straight to the bookshop, which I can't believe in my local town it was there, but it was. And honestly, I was on a high reading it. I really, really was. I think it was just a couple of things that were said that it just, I don't know, just felt overwhelmed by. I think I got about a third way through the book and I wasn't interested in the book anymore. I wanted to know about Sydney Banks and I wanted to know about the 3 principles, even though it's all there. But so I got on the internet and I googled more, and a week later I ended up in Salt Spring Island. Dramatic. Yeah. But I suppose, I think trying to recollect what actually happened, I suppose I've always been from I was very, very young, and to my own detriment, a real deep thinker. Now, not even deep in the right direction, just deep in my own head and analysing everything and like really, you know, to as far as I could. But of course that causes problems, doesn't it? So there was a lot of kind of stress and periods of depression and all of that. And I think the one thing, when I read that book, I remember getting an insight, and it was like a visual one, and it was just, it's hard to describe. It was just space, I suppose. It was just space, like infinite space, with a wee tiny circle in it. And I kind of understood that to be, that little circle was my limited being or something like that. And the space was everything else. And I knew that only the space was real. And I remember just being so high, and the sister saying, "What is it? Tell me." And like, all I could say was, "Just get out of your own way. I said, just get out of your own way. You know, everything's there. Everything's okay." So I think then I went to Salt Spring, and I was on a complete high for months and months and months. But then I tried to figure out, and mind kind of made sense to me, even though, like, from a Catholic background. So God was like God, you know, on a cloud. But to me, mind was everything. It was spiritual, and it was in everything, and it was in me, and it was me, and I was it. And I got that, but thought, I couldn't figure out thought. I could not figure it out. So I went into it, and I spent the last year in it, in thought, trying to figure out what it was, where it was coming from, you know. If it's just popping in, how come it always applies to me? How is it so relevant? You know, am I creating it? Is it conscious? So trying to figure it all out. Until the last couple of weeks, actually, last month probably, I've managed to work my way back into a place where I forgot that I was in my thinking. And and felt really down again, and I was like, oh my God, is this? And I felt really depressed. I felt really depressed for the first time since I came across 3 principles, and it was really frightening. But there was just something I was able to hold on to, like, it's going to be okay, do you know? And like, oh, that sounds dramatic, but it wasn't that dramatic. Okay, I was just down. I could still go into work and everything, but I could see what I was doing. Whereas years ago, if that happened, I couldn't see it. Like, I would have been so lost in it that I would have dwelled in it, I would have built on it, and I would have been 3 months and I would have had to leave my job, would have moved back to Ireland, you know, all that. But anyway, what's come out of it for me is just back to the simplicity. You know, just trust, absolute. My word at the minute is trust. Trust in yourself. Just trust. You know, I don't even want to get into that because then you're going to make it into a form again. Yeah, and I think that's, I've always worked with people. I love, my passion is working with people. And I used to be helping people, but now it's, I suppose, I see it differently. But my passion is still to try and help people see what they're doing to themselves. And I want to be able to do that simply, rather than complicating everything as I do. So it's just coming back to trust. Just want to learn to be able to let go and just trust.
Thank you, Eileen. We'll take one more before we have to take a break because the food is going to be out there. So, Sonia.
Hello, my name is Sonia, and I came across the principles in 2013. Claire was my lecturer when I did a leadership and management group, and I work as a care owner for people with learning disability of my own business. When Birmingham City Council decided that we needed to have diversity and change, I didn't understand what that meant. I thought it meant changing the carpet, changing the curtains, so I did all that, and I just couldn't get what change meant. At that time, we decided to do a garden project that I was doing anyway, because the vegetables were there, the fruits were there in the garden. We've got a really fruitful garden, so I decided to make jam and started doing all different stuff. And Claire said to me, there's the change. And then I realised that I saw something that I could see before. I mean, I think I'm my own worst enemy because I try to sort of fix everything. And I keep going on and on and on trying to fix things. And one day I asked God what my purpose was. And it came to me that my purpose was just looking after people. Where I was and what I was doing was my purpose. And that felt good. That felt really good because I felt I was doing the right thing. I tried to fix everyone. I tried to fix people, do all sorts of stuff for people, and sometimes neglect myself and not realising that I'm caught up in my own thoughts. And then I get angry with everybody that they're having me doing everything for them. Nobody's doing anything for me. So I tend to start feeling sorry for myself a lot. But if I'm still, I realise that I do know what I'm doing. When Claire spoke to me about the 3 principles, first thing I said, oh, I know what that is, Father, Son and Holy Ghost. You're talking about the Trinity. Because I was brought up in church, so a lot of it I can apply, but I can understand to a certain degree, but then I get lost again in my thoughts. The 3 it has helped me in my situation. For those of you who were here last night and heard me talking, I wasn't going to be here because I saw the email and I kept rejecting it, and it just kept coming back, and I kept rejecting it again. And then Claire kept sending me little message, go for it now. It's early bird. I want to see that. But it came at the right time. I was at my lowest of my lowest. And she said, why don't you read that book? I've got a book called Second Chance. And I don't like reading. And she knows that I don't like reading. I said, it's got to be simple and small. And I can't believe that I read that book less than 4 days, because that's not me. And while my husband was still carrying on with his antics, I was in my own little world. So the book really helped me to be still and to be quiet And it was my own thoughts that was creating the issues around what was happening to me. And I'm just so glad to be here because it's opened my eyes and it's helped me to relax and switch my phone off. It's just done so much for me since I've been here, and I just need to know that I'm going to take that back with me and not go back to a house that everybody is saying that it's gonna, you're going to be killed by your husband once you get back. So I'm just praying that I can actually bring back what I've learned to help me to deal with the situation.
Great, Sonia. Thank you. Boy, we're going to take a break now, but I'm really excited already. I can't wait to hear the rest of it.